This is the newsroom.
This is the newsroom for Tuesday, April 22, 2025. We're broadcasting to you on E1, SKAR TV, NTN, and TARZEE TV in Bartica. In the headlines, 2 die in separate motorcycle accidents, prolonged May-June rainy season expected.
Also seeing a higher chance for extreme rainfall.
The Region 2 community of Mashabo eyes business growth with cage fishing project. And in sport, Guyana ends 52nd CARIFTA Games in Trinidad with 5 medals. And Guyana U-15 beats Leeward Islands to set up final against Barbados. With the news, I'm Vashani Raghwith. Thank you for joining us. Ricardo Melville, a 19-year-old motorcyclist, died on Monday after he crashed into a concrete culvert at Diamond East Bank, Demerara. Police said Melville, a resident of Caneville East Bank, Demerara, was proceeding south along the eastern carriageway of the Diamond Public Road at a fast rate. He reportedly lost control of his motorcycle, CL4491, and collided with a concrete culvert situated on the eastern parapet of the road. Melville was injured and subsequently picked up in an unconscious state by emergency medical technicians and taken to the Diamond Diagnostic Center, where he was seen and examined by a doctor. He succumbed while receiving treatment. His body was escorted to the Memorial Gardens Funeral Home mortuary, awaiting a post-mortem examination. We tell you now that an accident claimed the life of a 39-year-old motorcyclist and left a minibus driver hospitalized on Monday night following a collision along the Moblissa Public Road, Soosdijk-Linden Highway. The fatal crash occurred at approximately 22 hours and involved 3 vehicles: a green and silver minibus registration number BRR8331, a white motorcar PXX 3747, and a motorcycle CL7080. The minibus, owned by Vibert Amsterdam, was being driven at the time by 54-year-old Maurice Meredith, a Guyanese man residing at Rismar Linden. Initial police investigations revealed that the minibus was heading south along the eastern side of the Moblissa Public Road, allegedly at an excessive speed, when the driver reportedly lost control. The vehicle veered onto the western lane, directly into the path of an oncoming motorcycle ridden by Markine Jackson, a 39-year-old from Silver Hill Village, Soosdijk-Linden Highway. The impact of the collision forced the motorcyclist and his vehicle onto a stationary white motorcar parked on the western side of the road facing north. The car is owned by Alonso Cornelius, a 53-year-old man of mixed ancestry residing at Central Amelia's Ward, Linden. Both the motorcyclist and minibus driver sustained injuries. Jackson was reportedly picked up in an unconscious state by a passing vehicle and rushed along with Meredith, who was semi-conscious, to the Linden Hospital complex, escorted by police officers. Tragically, the motorcyclist was pronounced dead by medical staff. The Hydrometeorological Service of the Ministry of Agriculture on Tuesday held its National Climate Outlook Forum at the Herdmanston Lodge. Komal Dairam, a specialist meteorologist with responsibility for climatology, said the usual May-June rainy season is likely to last longer than it usually does. And on days when there is an absence of rainfall, Dairam said nights are likely to be hotter. Because of this forecast, he advised persons to ensure that there is proper drainage and irrigation. He also urged farmers to plan appropriately.
The upcoming season is a May, June, July rainy season, which is expected to be above normal. You might have noticed that there's been an early transition into the rainy season, and this is something that we have identified in our bulletins earlier in the year. So far, notwithstanding the intense rain has picked up, beyond the May, June, July period, we expect below normal rainfall. In addition to the above normal rainfall, for an indication of above normal daytime and nighttime temperature. What does this mean? It means that the days that we have an absence of rainfall, we're likely to experience increased temperature. A regular implication of the wet season is that ensure that drainage are cleared, ensure that farmers take precaution with respect to moving their animals and protecting their crops. In addition to seeing above normal rainfall, we are also seeing increase in the increase in number of wet days as compared to the normal amount of wet days that you would see in these 90-day period. However, with those wet days, we are also seeing a higher chance for extreme rainfall. So it's for the general public to take necessary precaution in flash floods, etc.
Still to come, the government hears about new projects in Region 9 and import duties on vehicles could be lowered soon. Stay with us. Welcome back. This is the newsroom. President Dr. Irfaan has announced plans to build at least 1,000 core homes across Region 9 if the People's Progressive Party Civic is elected for a second term. This venture joins several other projects he vowed the government will support during a visit to Yupakari village at the weekend.
We know that there are some things that are important that we are already discussing with you on implementing now and in the new budget. These things are under active implementation. And I want you to be assured, for example, in Yupakari, connecting the satellite villages, you want minibuses. You want further help in transportation. Am I not right? Yes. The Ministry of Amerindian Affairs already took note of that, and we are already procuring 2 buses to support the satellite communities. The Yupakari and Fly Hill Bridge, I know we made it out of wood. Am I not right? We have a timber bridge there, am I not right? And now the community want to upgrade it into a concrete bridge, and we have asked the region and the ministry to put that in the program, in the budget, so you can have that concrete bridge there. And Katoka Junction to Fly Hill, which is about 3 kilometers. Am I not right? It's about 3 kilometers. We are doing our work. Every day we are in service to you. That is how we know all of this. We're going to continue work on upgrading that road because that is important for you.
The government commissioned more than $7.7 billion in bridges along the critical Linden to Lethem corridor this weekend, marking a major step forward in national connectivity and regional development. A total of 45 bridges were constructed, significantly enhancing access between regions 9 and 10. However, government officials said they are focused on upgrading the entire trail to make traveling much easier and faster.
While we are advancing the work at Linden to Mabure Hill, we are currently engaging in discussions, and hopefully we could come to a final agreement with a British firm that will do Mabure Hill to Kurupakari. And we hope to have that going very soon. When that is completed, we have 2 other lots, both of them just over 100 kilometers each. Kurupakari to Anai, and then Anai to Lethem. While we are awaiting the award of contracts for those projects, the Ministry of Public Works, as well as the GGMC, are working on the maintenance of the road.
Our desire is to finish that road, asphalted road, so people can leave Linden and get to Lethem in perhaps 7 hours or less. Not speeding, but the fact that you have a better road is no longer an adventure to come through during the rainy season, and you don't have any dust during the dry season. That itself is going to open up businesses and open up so many activities for the people who live along the road in your villages and so. So we want you to be ready. We want you to be ready to grasp at those opportunities to improve your lives and livelihood. So that's why we not only focusing on infrastructure in terms of building roads and bridges, we're rebuilding and building a new health centers, hospitals, regional hospitals, schools, and even housing development. Our housing policy is not limited to the coastland, right? We have housing development right here in Region 9.
Vice President Dr. Barry Jagdeo recently assured Guyanese that taxes for the importation of vehicles would be reviewed and eventually reduced. Jagdeo, during a People's Progressive Party Civic Press Conference, reminded citizens that the government has been reducing import duties through various budgetary measures. Even so, he acknowledged that import duties may still be high.
We passed a budget recently. We reduced duties on lots of things since we got into office, including vehicles. The duties are still high. We will probably put them under review in the next term in office, so they will come down. But as the road network expands too, I think we can allow a more liberal taxation system on the vehicle. But this is not discriminatory. It's applied to vehicles from any part of the world. If you were thinking about whether it's linked, maybe I don't know if that's the thinking about it's linked to the US, but it's from Japan, it's from the US, it's from Europe, the same tax rates that you pay.
The Guyana Office for Investment, in partnership with the Ministry of Tourism, Industry and Commerce, is set to lead a high-profile private sector delegation to Expo 2025 Osaka from the 26th to the 28th of April 2025. This strategic mission underscores Guyana's commitment to expanding international trade, attracting sustainable investment, and accelerating private sector development through direct global engagement. Dr. Peter Ramsroop, in an interview with the newsroom on Tuesday, spoke about the importance of the mission.
This year, Guyana has its portion. We are demonstrating our tourism, investment opportunities, and really, a lot of people ask the question, where is this Guyana, what it's about? And so we have a team of both Guyana Office for Investment personnel and Ministry of Tourism personnel actively there for the next 6 months. Sometimes during the day, there are thousands of people that walk through. And if you see some of the pictures, they stand next to the Jaguar that is there just to get a feel of what the jungle looks like, or pass and ask questions about Silica City, which is going to be the most modern smart city in this region. So we get a chance to tell people around the world, this is not just about Japan, because they're all 100 plus countries that have a pavilion there. Hundreds of thousands of people will cross Japan's shores from other areas. So it's a great opportunity to expand the knowledge about Guyana.
When the newsroom returns, we tell you how the community of Mashabo is embracing cage fishing. Welcome back. This is the newsroom. Hidden among the lush forests and calm waters of Region 2 is Mashabo, an indigenous village where tradition and modern opportunity are beginning to walk hand in hand. For years, this peaceful community has worked quietly to improve their way of life, and thanks to improved government support over recent years, the village is steadily building a future rooted in self-reliance and sustainability, built around Guyana's low-carbon development strategy. Now, Mashabo is diving into business. Literally. The cage fishing project is part of the process towards a broader plan to create lasting economic growth.
To begin with Mashabo, as I just said, that Mashabo is a beautiful place. I also come to Mashabo to live in 1984. So when I came to Mashabo, Mashabo was not like how it is now. But as time goes by, things develop. And things develop. Mashabo was one of the community was very, very low when it comes to development. And then when I came here too in the early 90s now, because I came here 84, around like 85 to 89, that is where I purchased the very first chainsaw. So Mashabo has been developed. Mashabo becomes one of the #1 community as I recognize it to my own perspective, is that Mashabo could be more than how it is today. Well, when I started here, as I said, we did lumber. First they used to do farming, hunting, and presently now they used to do logging. Still continue doing logging, but you know, as with the forest getting so exhausted. And as we look at the government trying to help us through the LCDS now is that we have to sustain the forest. Because if we go right down to roots, you have nothing more to depend upon. So we have to preserve it in a way that, you know, trying to look in other directions, because what the government has doing with this kind of development for community also is one of the great initiatives. Like when they find pathway, CSOs, they have safe workers on this. Plus we have now small projects like the chicken farm, that is the poultry farm that is coming up, where we employ people to do work in there. We have the fish also. We have people, we form a small committee that would manage that fish areas. So the fish and the chicken actually work in the same categories. This fish project is a good thing, right? As I said, it helped to, like we said, the people in the village, and plus the income that we have is to do other small. I understand. As I said, you cannot just rely on the fish, you have to do something with it, or could bring something else again. Everything needs to bring an income to the village. Well, when we harvest the fish, it's like when we get market from out, because we just get people coming from Georgetown, from this indigenous flavor. Those are the ones that purchase most of the fish, like a 200 pound. So when we harvest for 200 pound, we don't just go for 200 pound, we go for like 3 because we cater for our people too. Because remember, by the time they hear we harvest, as I was saying, you know, everybody will rush and come and say, man, I want a pound, I want 2 pounds. But the fish them is from 3 pounds, 4 pounds, 5 pounds. We're hoping that in the future that we would divert these funds to see that if we could do something like building a building for it, or make some kind of accommodation for it. You understand? Bringing a solar system with a solar freezer so that we could have our own. So the fish project now could employ people too. Because remember now, if I get for instance, I got the market. To show, we want 200 pounds. Do you expect to show to go and harvest it? Well, we put a system that people who goes to harvest it, because it's very, you know, hard to harvest for 1 person or 2 persons, so we have to get person to harvest the fish. We have to get at least 2 or 3 female to, you know, to check on the fish, to weigh the fish, you know, to pong it off then. You understand? Keep a record on these things then. And you know, everything today is called for payments. This is not people saying that, oh, I'm going to do it free. You understand? But it's good. We expect it to continue. If we start any small business with it, with the funds, remember these funds will actually come back now to help manage. If we got to buy the fish, if we got to buy the feed, you know, we got to start look at these things then. This is not for me, but it's for all of us. All of us might have the opportunity.
We tell you now that despite intermittent showers, families brought out their kites and celebrated Easter Monday across Georgetown. The newsroom's Avidesh Narayan visited several spots around the city and captured these highlights. When the newsroom returns to financial, weather and bridge reports along with sport news. Stay with us. Welcome back to the newsroom. Now for a look at what's happening in sport, and we start things off with some track and field news. Despite fielding a record contingent of 42 athletes at the 52nd CARIFTA Games, Ghana concluded the championships with 5 medals. While not a record medal haul, the Guyanese team showed numerous positive performances. The newsroom's Akeem Green was on ground in Trinidad throughout the games and filed this report, capturing the athletes' experiences and performances. Ghana's medal tally included 1 gold, 1 silver, and 3 bronze.
The 52nd edition of the CARIFTA Games would have wrapped up on Monday evening at the Hazy Crawford Stadium in Trinidad and Tobago. For Team Guyana, it was 5 medals won, 1 gold, 1 silver, and 3 bronze medals. The gold medal came from Tiana Springer. She defended her title in the girls under 2400 meter. Malachi Austin, he came close to doing the same feat, but had to settle for silver in the boys under 2400 meter event, while the 3 bronze medals came from debutant Ibo McNeil, a former national table tennis player. He would have won bronze in the under 17 3000 meter. The season campaign of Toya Harvey would have won bronze in the 1500 meter girls under 20, and then Rodell Green would delivered the last medal for Guyana in the boys under 20 triple jump. You know, speaking to all of these athletes, many of them expressed gratitude for their performances. Certainly those who would have fell short of the gold medal status explained that they certainly are going to be looked to continue to work hard as they aim to return. Well, some of them coming back to these games in 2026 with the aim of getting gold.
Tiana Springer, congrats on a back-to-back goal in the under 20 category, but a third consecutive goal in the 400 meter under 17 and then 2 under 20. How does it feel, Tiana?
It feels great knowing I've trained a lot for this. I'm so glad I made my family proud, my friends proud. I've dreamed about this moment for being a third champion, and I succeeded, so I'm really proud of myself.
What was your response like? You know, obviously probably in 200 meter, 250, someone in the crowd may be a bit nervous, but you seem to certainly pull it back at the 300 meter mark and, you know, the storm to the end.
If I'm being honest, I don't like see people in front of me, so that gave me the push to actually have the bottom I have to sprint home, so yeah.
Malachi, so close at the end. That usual speed. Reflecting that one.
Honestly, this year hasn't been my year, to be honest. I haven't run any meets, like I said earlier. I just did 1 meet in Guyana. But coming out today, I feel good. As it's been my season opener, I still have a lot of games after CARIFTA. So 46.5, not really what I wanted, because I wanted to run 45. It's quite unfortunate that the Jamaicans came out of the race, but as I said before, it's God's time, and I just waited my time.
Ibo, a man of many talents, national table tennis player, now a CARIFTA medalist as well. How does this one feel coming to your first CARIFTA Games and going back with the medal?
I feel very good, very good. But after 1500 meter, my mom was just under 3000, let's go. And then let her break me, you know, shed a little tear, but that's just motivation for me, you know. So feel very good. I'm coming next year for the gold.
Yeah, it was an aggressive run, Ibo, from the start. And then obviously, you know, you pushed through the end to come back and get that bronze. What was the talk with Coach Johnny before this race?
Well, the plan was just to know, don't let anyone go away. So I decided to push the pace, go hard and start. I made him, but I won't lie to you, the guys at Trinidad, they came up on me. You know, I got a little nervous to tell you the truth, but I just keep going. When I saw the guy from Bermuda, I said, no, he's not taking this one from me. And I just pushed to the end and passed him.
Congrats, Ibo.
Thank you very much.
So I know before leaving Ghana, you told me you wanted to medal. You also got bronze and a PB. How do you feel about your performance?
Well, I feel great about the performance. Well, I wanted the gold, but I'm satisfied with the bronze.
How hard was getting to this? You know, you wanted gold, but let's tell me about the journey to get there. How hard you had to put in the work?
It was very hard, but at the end of the day, it came. I got the medal.
Atoya, your final year at the CARIFTA Games, certainly you would have wanted more at this one, but how do you reflect on a really decorated career for Guyana at these games?
Well, it's my final year. I'm sad that I'm leaving the team, but I'm still happy that I came out and represent. So far overall, I got 6 CARIFTA medals, so I'm still happy that I came every year and did what I had to do. I'm medaling my events.
What was your secret to success coming each year
and obviously producing for Guyana.
I didn't really had no secret, but it was just sticking to my coach plan. Go out there, execute.
And with this experience you would have gained from so many years at CARIFTA, how now are you looking to progress in your senior career and obviously, continue to represent Guyana well?
It was tough overall because even at this year, I almost missed my flight coming here. So I was like, well, I was praying. I was like, God, if this is for me, let me be here. Then I came. I didn't expect to win bronze in the 1500 because my season, like, it wasn't going so well. I was running 4:47, 4:48, struggling too. So when I go out there and I ran 4:41 easily, I was kind of confused, but then I was still happy. It's my final year and I still got a medal.
Yeah, you would have heard it there from the medalists on Team Guyana. But these games weren't solely about the medalists. There were many other athletes. In fact, the AAG would have sent a contingent of 42 athletes, a record number, attending these games for Team Guyana. So certainly, to come back with just 5 medals, it would be disappointing. But it depends on how do you look at it from a holistic standpoint. It's my understanding that many of these athletes that would have participated, even though they did not medal, they made incremental steps to positive development. They got personal best. And I think that is the takeaway that the AAG and many others are looking at it from these games. And also the fact that if you look at the team, many of them are under 17 athletes attending these games for the first time. So the experience is gained there. And I can tell you for being on the ground, many of them are gutted that they did not manage to get on the podium. Many of them had some impressive times coming through to finals, but they certainly withered at that part. But again, it's about the experiences they would have gained and how hard systems now can be put in place to allow these athletes to develop and go to the next step. So that when they return to the games in 2026, they're certainly in a better position to medal and do well for Guyana. As regards the games in 2026, Grenada, who would have hosted in 2024, have expressed interest in hosting in 2026. And then in 2027, the Bahamas and Curacao have expressed interest in hosting the games there. And then Barbados have expressed an interest in hosting the games in 2028. Reporting from Port of Spain, I'm Akim Green.
Kenesha Headley, a coach with the Guyanese contingent at the CARIFTA Games and Assistant Secretary of the Athletics Association of Guyana, is emphasizing the positive development of the team despite not reaching their anticipated medal count. While Guyana's 42 athletes secured 5 medals, 1 gold, 1 silver and 3 bronze at the Games, Headley believes the experience yielded significant progress, noting that many athletes achieved personal best performances. Headley stated that the focus now shifts to leveraging this growth and the lessons learned to ensure the athletes reach a medal-winning standard at the 2026 CARIFTA Games.
How would you reflect on these games to Guyana?
Well, it is not as we would have expected. However, it was a pretty young team, a pretty inexperienced team. So I think that the experiences gained by the younger athletes will only do well for them in the future. A lot of them went into those races with a lot of emotions, came out of those races feeling a whole lot of emotions. And I think that those emotions are what is going to drive them to train harder, to learn the sciences of their sport, and to overall be better at what they do. And I think coming out of this team, next year we will have a better crop of CARIFTA athletes.
Yeah, I'm just going to ask about that. It was noticeable that there were a lot of under 17 athletes on this contingent. Probably the AG thinking something down the line to probably cash in on the other 2 CARIFTA games.
Yes, of course. Because Trinidad being in such close proximity to Guyana and the cost was not as exorbitant as it usually would be, the AG decided to bring a larger team with the assistance of the government, of course, to bring a larger team, which in my opinion would only do better for the future because a lot of these athletes didn't know about the big game. I've been the National Schools Championship, may be the biggest crowd they've ever performed in front of. And the being here for me has taught them a lot. And I think that they're going to use whatever they would have learned here, whatever experiences and emotions that they felt here over these last 3 days, and it's going to only make them better athletes.
Despite many members of the Guyanese contingent leaving the 52nd CARIFTA Games without a medal, the athletes found their own positive way to reflect on their experience in Trinidad and Tobago over the Easter weekend. Rather than feeling deflated, many expressed encouragement and a determination to improve and achieve better results in future competitions.
I'd like to shout out the physio, Miss Vanessa Messerita, for, we call them the magic fingers. I'd like to shout out my little brothers, Amari Smith, Linda Haynes, Keenan, all of you guys, my mother, my coach, my father, you don't know. Big up to my friend Kurt. You run Cody, get up to what?
Yeah, guys. First time here on CARIFTA, did the 1500 and the 5000 and came in the top 10. So next year, I'm coming for betterment.
Following his 6 for 34 in the last round against Leeward Islands, leg spinner Reyes Latif took 4 for 7 as Guyana defeated the Leeward Islands by 6 wickets in the 4th round of the Cricket West Indies Rising Stars on the 1550 Over Championship at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium in Antigua. Doing the initial damage on Easter Monday was seam pair Patrice Fraser and Raphael McKenzie, who combined for 5 wickets, while Usain Fredericks grabbed the other as the Leeward Islands crumbled for 77. Chasing a small target of 78, Guyana knocked off the runs in 25 overs to record a second consecutive win and third in 4 matches to remain second behind unbeaten Barbados. Arif Bacchus top scored with 23, opener Justin Dowling made 21, and Nathaniel Ramsamy anchored the chase with an unbeaten 15. Crucially, Guyana gained maximum bonus points, claiming all 10 wickets via fast bowling and wrist spin. That means Guyana now has 17.4 points, with Barbados in the lead with 21.8. Trinidad has 13.4, Jamaica 11, Windward Islands 8.2, and Leeward Islands 3.4. Guyana and Barbados face off in the final round on Wednesday in a two-way fight for the title at the Coolidge Cricket Ground from 9:30 hours. After the game on Monday, the newsroom's Avinash Ramzan spoke to bowling hero Reyes Latif.
I'm here with Reyes Latif for a wonderful performance yet again, following up his 6 for 34 in the last round with 4 for 7. Reyes, you're enjoying this tournament, 12 wickets so far. Tell us what's been working for you.
For the tournament, what was working for me, I think, is the batterman. The ball was like drifting, turning, like a ball with a less pace, so like enough flight. So I think that was working for me a lot.
Yeah, we were talking a bit earlier before you came to the venue. You had some goals for this tournament. Tell us a bit about those goals.
One of them was like to make the under 16 West Indies team. Hopefully, I come out with most wickets. Coming out to this tournament, I get confidence going into the team once I get picked and perform more.
Yeah, well, hopefully you get into that team as well. Tell us a bit about this performance here today. You guys came here, you know you had to win to be in contention for the title, to stay in contention, that is. How clinical was that from you guys?
It was a good wrong performance from all of us. From the coach supporting us, family members supporting us, coming out here, doing our best. We know we had to get the fast bowling points, so that worked. And our batting, we ended up winning by 6 wickets, so that worked too.
Right, you talk about fast bowling points. You are as well picking up some points for Guyana with your leg spin. Guyana gaining maximum fast bowling points and the wrist spin points from this game, and of course staying in contention for that title. A big game, Reyes, coming up, the final round against Barbados, potentially a game that will decide the title.
Yeah, we're just looking forward to like the same performances that we do throughout the tournament so far. We just want to go into the last match, do our best, see if we can bring home this championship and make Guyana proud.
Yeah, and this match here would have given you guys a lot of confidence, bowling out the team for 77 and then winning so easily.
Yeah. This match here, so the performance now will give us a little boost going into the next match and doing better to claim the championship.
Reyes, congrats on your performance here today and best wishes in that final round.
Yeah, thanks.
Meanwhile, manager of the Guyana U-15 team, Terry Newton, is ecstatic with the clinical performance of his boys, who are now in with a real chance of lifting the title for the first time since 2015. After the 4th match at the Sir Viv Richards Stadium in Antigua on Monday, Newton spoke to the newsroom's Avinash Ramzan.
A clinical win for Guyana in the 4th round of the Cricket West Indies Rising Stars on the 1550 Over Championship here at the Sir Vivian Richards ground in North Sound, Antigua. Guyana bowled out the Leeward Islands, who opted to bat first for 77 and 24.4 overs, with Reyes Latif following up his 6 wickets in the last game with 4 for 7, 3 for 21 for Patrice Fraser, 2 for 21 for Raphael McKenzie, and Usain Fredericks picking up the other wicket. Then Guyana coasting to victory, winning by 6 wickets. Alongside me, the manager of the Guyana team, Terry Newton. You must be happy, man, this afternoon.
Definitely. The guys went to the game plan And we wanted to bat first, but we did not. But we say if we're going to bowl, we want to bowl them out under 100. And we did exactly that.
Tell us a bit about the effort of the bowlers. You were able to capture maximum bonus points here today.
Yes, the fast bowlers did well, because that's how we are asking them all tournament. I think this is the best performance besides the other matches. And we got bowling points from our leg spinner also. So fast bowling points and leg spinning points. Excellent display of bowling.
Yeah, and talking about a leg spinner, Riaz Latif, 10 wickets in 2 matches. He just keeps getting better and better.
Well, before the tournament started, he said, manage, my target is 12. And he's at 12 right now. So in the last game, he should go past that too.
Right, and looking ahead now to the big one on Wednesday, Guyana against Barbados, potentially a match that could determine the championship. How much are you guys looking forward to that one, and what would be the message to the guys as you head into that final round?
Well, that is the most important game to come. I already told the guys, myself and coach, they have to be 150% in all areas, and we know that we can defeat Barbados.
Right, and some of the areas now you probably need to tighten up. You don't have much of a long turnover there before that final match.
The batting, still, we should not have lost 4 wickets. I prefer we lost 2 wickets in this game. But again, they're playing the ball in the air, and we prefer to play it on the carpets. There's a time for that. So the shot selection has to be better. So we have to work on that. We'll be working on some other stuff back there and before Barbados game.
Manage good win today, and all the best for the final round.
Yeah, thank you very much.
That's the manager of the Guyana U-15 team here in Antigua, Terry Newton. Reporting for Newsroom from the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium in North Sound, I'm Avinash Ramzan in association with Cricket Zone USA, E4 and INS Trading.
And with that, we've come to the end of this evening's newscast. Of course, you can find these and other stories at our website, newsroom.gy, and across all our social media pages, Newsroom Guyana. On behalf of the news and technical teams, I am Vishani Raghaber. Thank you for watching.